who are tuning in on KKNW 1150 in Seattle, and those of you joining us on Facebook and YouTube, and now Minocqua Company. Hold on, so link at your microphone, Tim Walco. Minocqua Brewing Company.
Minocqua Brewing Company. Near Rhinelander.
Is that how far away it is Rhineland? I don't.
It's about 20 miles.
I don't go up that way angår.
Well, I feel like the Klan.
I mean,
the Klan that says, "Ya hater."
I mean, that's what Kirk got himself into, ya hater.
I know, ya hater. You're going to find a normal legislation of a person that's never seen a mosque or a black person.
I mean,
even on TV.
That's the thing. Well, they see folks on TV and they think that they're coming for you.
They're coming to my house. They're going to Wausau and then they go all the way to Woodruff.
Yeah.
And the Minocqua Bats, that's a ski team, could be all white. They're very famous.
They are very famous. I believe it. So much I've never heard of them. That's how famous.
No, they're up there. It's a big deal. They're the Minocqua Bats. Every teenager that can water ski is the good ones.
I've never been. Have you ever been water skiing?
I tried it once. I couldn't get up. I said, I'm done. Like a lot of things.
It wasn't like last year, was it? Because it'd be harder to get up.
I was 10.
Okay.
And I have ADHD, so you just quit immediately. When you can't do it. I'll think of something.
When did you find out you had ADHD? Just out of curiosity.
Well,
because mine was like last year on social media.
Mine was about 10, 12 years ago.
Really?
My psychologist teacher, one of my gurus, Christine. Hope she's listening.
Hi, Christine.
She's wonderful, and she said you have the worst case I've ever seen in 30 years.
Well, that should make you feel special because presumably she's seen a lot of cases.
She has.
Yeah.
And she's one of us politically, and she's just tremendous.
That's great.
So we talk. I scream. She lets me say things I can never say here.
So she's your therapist or a friend?
Therapist.
Oh,
and friend.
I'll need her number too.
Okay. She's retired.
All your specialists. I need all your specialists' numbers.
I have a whole bunch.
So we are broadcasting now on Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. Hello to our friends watching there, and you can find all our podcasts available on Heartland Signal's stream and website. We have in studio with us today guest co-host Tim Walco, who is performing this weekend at Zany's
on Sunday night.
At
7:00. It's the older show.
Is it downtown, Rosemont?
Downtown.
You mean downtown? There's a 7:00 show on a Sunday? Look at you.
They get a lot of tourists. And if you have the code WALCO, all capitals WALCO, WALKOE, it equals $10 tickets.
Nice.
Otherwise, they're $32 and 2 drinks.
Yeah. There is a 2-drink minimum. We should let people know that.
Yes. WALCO, WALKOE, why the E is there, no idea.
That's this Sunday, downtown Zany's on
with
Wells.
Mike Maxwell and
Mike Maxwell.
Elaine Golden.
Okay.
I think it's Elaine.
Okay. Excellent. That sounds like a good show.
It is a great show. Mike's good. They're all good.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. We got a lot of people coming now.
And it's the oldest comedy club in Chicago.
Yeah,
stand-up comedy, right?
Yes. I went there early in '83, and Larry, of course, we've been there 7 years already.
Larry Reeb had been there for 7 years.
Yeah, when they started the club, before that it was the strip club.
Strip club, right.
The Club Amour.
Same owner, by the way. Go ahead.
Same owner.
That's
we
true.
don't want to talk about Rick now. We do, because Rick was the greatest, Rick Hewitt. But he he used to have the girls sit up front to bring people in, and, okay, come on in for a good time. So I guess he thought the comics, that's how you get a crowd. And he put Larry up front with a couple of the comics. Hey, why don't you come in for the show? No one was coming in at that point. And then it took off, and he's one of the great comedy impresarios, I think,
masterminds
ever. The
creator of the 3-man show, is my understanding. The MC, the feature, and the headliner.
Could be. And he also, when he had Leno or he had Richard Lewis or he had a star in, he became their best friend, and he did everything for them. And when they became huge, and they were with like other agencies, Rick got a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he deserved
it. And Seinfeld. That would be Seinfeld, too.
That's Seinfeld, too.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He was a trip.
He was. It's a great comedy club.
It's a great club.
It's a legendary club. That's at, oh my God, I used to know the address over there. It's at North and Wells. It's at Wells.
1520.
Something like that.
That's the year I was born. 1520. I was born in 1520.
Oh, really? 1520 North Wells?
No, I was born in the year 1520.
I'm saying, no, that's, the address is 1520? Wait.
I think so.
All right, now I got to look it up. And the great thing about this club.
You were there 100 times.
100 times.
It's in the front.
I was the house MC for 8 years. Yeah. I was a house MC from
8 times 3 is like, wow.
Yeah. And there was, we used to do 9 shows a week. Yeah, but I've had a little bit of a mental block with Zane. I mean, part of it's with Rick passing, and things changed.
Things changed.
Yeah, you get to move around a little bit. Yeah. At any rate, Tim Walco will be there this Sunday, 7:00 show. It'll be wonderful. And it's Walco, WALKOE. When you buy tickets, that's all your $10 tickets, all caps.
$10 tickets.
Outstanding. Yeah. I started doing comedy because I started doing comedy for a variety of reasons, but I really thought I was going to be a political comic. And you know me, having known me for over 30 years. I know I could now, but it was hard when I started out in the 90s.
The best was Will Durst and my friend Barry Crimmins. Yes. The late Barry Crimmins, my best friend. Barry Crimmins was the guy. He started Stephen Wright. He started Bobcat. He started them all in Boston at the Ding Ho Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And it was legendary comedy. But Barry he could do his act for a long time, and then it just got to where he couldn't deal with the audience.
Yeah,
they were so dumb, and they wouldn't listen to politics. And he goes, "Stop the show. Sit down. Let me explain something. There are 3 branches of government,
right.
You idiot."
Yep.
And he would go on with it, and he was the greatest. He went with Jackson Browne and Crosby, and all the people in the Chrysalis Foundation to El Salvador, where we were killing people. And he went down there with them, and Chris Christopherson was there. And I think someone did this, Barry Crimmins, the great Barry Crimmins. Look him up. He's on stage, and he goes, I refuse to be he says something about America. Bush is killing people. Bush first. El Salvador.
Right.
Oliver North for 300 and some Coke. And the guy goes, "Crimmins, if you don't like America, why don't you leave?" Without a break, he goes, "Because I don't want to be subjected to our foreign policy."
Yeah.
Case closed. And Chris Christopherson came out and hugged him.
Didn't he do that too with Sinead O'Connor?
I think so.
After she was blackballed after ripping up the picture of the Pope on SNL?
You know how great he was with John Prine, right?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, no. He took John Prine from Earl of Old Town to heaven.
Wow.
He was doing 3 shows a night. And Steve Goodman, who wrote Go Cubs Go.
Yes.
As well as You Don't Have to Call Me Darlin', Darlin', who was also playing on Lincoln Avenue when I played music there. And he was doing a show with Christopherson way over in Berwyn, because Berwyn loves Chris Christopherson. And he said, "You got to hear John, my friend." And he goes, "Okay." So they go all the way to the Earl from there, and he does one song. He'd done 3 sets already, Brian. He gets up and he does one song, and he goes, "How was that?" He goes, "Can you do some more?" He did a whole set for him.
Wow.
And he said, "You're coming with me tonight." And John Prine's one of the greatest songwriters ever.
Yeah, they're doing a festival for him now.
I know, it's going to be incredible.
That's going to be in Chicago. It's funny. I know somebody whose dad played with him. Last name is Burns. Kelly Burns' dad.
No. It's Jethro Burns' son, Johnny Burns.
No, I'm saying Kelly Burns is a firefighter here in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
His dad Burns played with John Prine.
But the guy, the Go Cubs Go song?
Yeah.
The lead guitar on that? Mm-hmm. That's Johnny Burns, who Homer Jethro. That's Jethro Burns' son.
Johnny Burns?
Johnny Burns.
So does that mean that Kelly Burns is...
No, there's a lot of Burns. It's a fire department. Get it? They have a lot of Burns. We'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no kidding.
2 drink minimum.
I think it might be Johnny. Maybe he's Jethro Burns is great.
I think I've heard of a very talented Irish guitar player.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out in post.
We'll get a shillelagh.
No, it's Kelly John Burns, and I believe that it might be. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, I think he's a fire chief now. Kelly Burns.
Good for him.
I know. He went to Lane Tech. He was a good ball player. Yep, just saying.
I know. I played against Lane Tech.
Did you really?
Yeah, he's from Schurz.
Yeah.
Except they had all guys. 3,000 guys. We had 1,500, and then we had 6 women playing football. It wasn't fair.
Sorry about that. Schurz is another. I think that because people always talk about Lane, Schurz is another beautiful building because you guys also like us had the WPA murals in the hallways, which was
somewhat. Inside it's very green and gray. The outside it's
Spanish tiles for some reason.
It's prairie.
Prairie.
The outside is prairie, and the new edition was put on in 1929. when my parents were there.
Wow.
And there's a school on the south side called Bogan.
Yes.
Who we played again if we ever went that far. Exact same school. Same architecture.
Same architecture.
There was a big article about it and the thing on Channel 11 about it.
Well, it's
beautiful.
With the work that they used to do and the ways in which, because I was talking about this earlier today about Reagan and what happened to labor ever since, right?
Started there.
People who were doing labor, who were doing the hard work, whether it was office work or building, we've completely devalued all of the traits.
All of the labor. And the first thing that, Nancy Davis's father was in the John Birch Society. He was vice president of it. And he said to Reagan, "You want to do this politic thing?" Because Ronald Reagan was head of SAG at one time.
That's right.
And he was Hubert Humphrey's guy. Okay, very liberal. And Mr. Davis, Dr. Davis said, "You want to get rich? Move to the other side." And he said, "Okay." And the first thing you do, get rid of that damn public education in California. First sentence. And that's where it started.
Yep.
And it's gone. You thought those were bad tax cuts. They'd be great right now if they did. At least he cared that he had to pay more taxes than his maid. Thanks. Not much, Ronnie, but not today. Wow. Downhill completely. Citizens United, bang, over. Corporate money, over. It's so sickening.
It is. Yeah.
It's depressing.
Well, I didn't know that Reagan campaigned on supporting the air traffic controllers when they came to him during his campaign for the presidency with the issues that they were facing. And then when he got out there, he said, "Okay, you're all fired."
Yeah, the week later, they told him he was a puppet. Your puppet. Bobby and James Purify just did that song. But yeah, it was horrible. I remember seeing it. I lived in California then and seeing the debates against Carter. That's like a comic going up with a guy that's a mime.
Oh, my God.
And Jimmy Carter was a wonderful man.
Yeah.
And they had no shot. And,
well, I remember when, again, I'm jumping around now because I also have a bit of ADHD, I'm presuming. But
wait, there's a yellow bird over there.
I know, right? I'm looking up over there. Was the debates between Bush and Gore, right? I remember, I don't know when Ron Majors reported, because he was in the building about how disappointed Democrats were and how flat he was at the DNC. You said about the DNC.
Yeah,
I was like, I watched him and I didn't, I guess maybe because I was so hopeful and trying not to be cynical and
I don't think it was that bad.
I did
Remember
not.
he did the Macarena joke.
Did he
Why
really?
was I thinking that? That's what my life is. I wake up at night and go, that girl's name was Macarena. No.
Oh, boy.
People still use that as a reference.
I know.
Stop.
I know. Well, the thing is, you know what? Okay, before we go to the break, I was thinking about this, how everything that I grew up with is vintage, right? Everything has now come back again.
Yes.
Right? And so you've gone through this where you've seen fashions. But I feel as though before the 70s, that wasn't quite the case because you didn't see, maybe you saw, poodle skirts didn't come back, corsets didn't come back, like for everybody, bustles and
for guys.
Annabella. Well, guys, unfortunately, guys' styles kind of have a pretty solid trajectory.
I got a good one for you. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a break for you. The Tate boys that just got arrested, the very abusive, rapist mutants, okay? Then you see the clothing they were wearing?
Yes.
They were wearing this weird clothing. Okay, there's a thing, and I saw this from a lady from the Department of Defense who worked for them in crimes. When they hand the phone over to the feds, when they hand this thing over to the feds, he slips the phone to him, his iPhone. It's on tape.
Really?
They're connected completely with Trump and Epstein and the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
Write it down, kids. Challenge me. Give it your best shot.
That's wild.
That's sad.
That's very
horrible
sad.
People.
It is Johnny Burns. Is my friend Kelly Burns' dad. Isn't that wild?
To Johnny Burns.
Yeah.
They're both fire department.
He is, no, his father was Jethro Burns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the same guy.
Same guy.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
He's on Facebook. I think he talks
I'm
about,
friends with Johnny Burns on Facebook. That's why I went and double checked everything.
He says he's kind of he's self-demeaning. He's a great guitar player.
Yeah.
Go Cubs go. He should get paid every time.
I know.
It's a union? Probably not. It's
No,
the Ricketts family.
Thanks, Reagan. Thanks. See, it comes back to Ronald Reagan and the Ricketts. We're in studio with comedian Tim Walco. He'll be appearing at Zany's on Wells in Old Town this Sunday night, 7:00 show. When you buy your tickets, if you type in Walco, all caps, WALKOE, you'll get $10 tickets. Otherwise, it's not that.
No.
But there is a two drink minimum. But when you enjoy the show, it's 2 item. We should say 2 item because people often think they're being forced to drink.
You can have pretzels.
You can have pretzels.
Pizza.
You have pizza. Home run in. Is it still home run in? I shouldn't.
I hope so.
It used to be. It always was.
Well,
so
I don't
nachos.
know what it is now.
Remember I had nachos?
Probably from the store.
That can of cheese. I always loved that nacho cheese.
You
it was
know, that's
addictive.
the big money maker. When Jay Burke had the comedy cottage here,
Yeah.
he was bragging about how much he made because he paid us nothing, $5 for a set. You're so good, I'm going to start you at 10. Oh, thanks, Jay. I'll buy a car. He had that cheese that's not cheese.
Yeah.
Over the chips that weren't real chips. He said, I'm making 90% profit.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna, kids, you want to get rich? cheese.
Sell nachos. Put a couple,
nachos.
2, 3 jalapenos on top. You're all set. I'm just saying.
Maybe some rice.
A little rice. We're hanging out with Tim Walco. Thank you to our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. Put in an order for the best single origin roasted to order coffee beans you have ever had. And check out what farmers market they will be at next, including this Sunday at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market, where I volunteer. We'll have Meryl on this week to talk about the vendors that will be available. But you can go to pridecoffeeroasters.com to find out how to order a bean subscription, maybe some of their gay swag. Sounds gay? I'm in. It's one of their items.
Fine with me.
I love it. And again, pridecoffeeroasters.com. Thank you to our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Of course, those of you tuning in on Substack, please join us. Maybe consider being a paid subscriber. If you're not on Substack for Minocqua Brewing Company, what are you doing? Please join us at MinocquaBrewingCompany.com and maybe put in an order for some fascist tears. I think that might be one of
Fascist tears?
He makes fascist tears. It's a West Coast IPA. It's really good.
Sounds great.
It's very delicious. I like that one. Fascist tears. It's amazing. I don't think I have any cans in my office, but I'll show you a picture of the cans. Also, they have an Abolish Ice Gose, a nice little salty
I love
grapefruit.
that.
Well, it's very
Talk
nice.
about that. Tom Holman's a good speaker.
Oh
isn't he?
my God!
So what I'm going to do is when it's bloodshed, we're going to have bloodshed on the streets. We're going to have my guys arrested. Shut up, you thief! You took $50,000 in an envelope. What do you work for daily?
Bagman.
Total bagman.
Oh, my God.
Bagman.
That's Tim Walco. By the way, also thank you to our friends at Source Solar. Go to source.solar, put in an appointment, make an appointment. Peter Sorellis to get solar panels on your house or business. Now is the time to get it done. He'll walk you through the whole process. He is partnered with Illinois Solar for All to help you with all the financing. So get that done. Go green to save green. More with comedian Tim Walco when we come back on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and everyone tuning in digitally. We appreciate you.
Think Theory Radio.
We're joined by Allie Mae Miller, hypnotherapist.
Hypnosis is portrayed in media in general. Manipulation, mind control. People think it's like a truth serum. My clients describe it as they're in control the whole time. It's definitely not a truth serum. The client decides what they share with me, even in a state of hypnosis.
Think Theory Radio with Damian Perdue. Saturdays at 6 p.m. on WCPT 820.
Hi, this is Tom Hartman. Sandra is a 73-year-old widow with $1.4 million in retirement savings. In 2025, she took her first required minimum distribution. That RMD pushed her into a higher bracket, increased her Medicare premiums, and caused $31,000 in needless taxes. Her advisor doesn't handle taxes, and her accountant only prepares returns. She felt alone and neglected. Sandra then met with Brookfield Tax Planning for a free, objective, second opinion tax review. They showed Sandra how she could legally reduce required minimum distribution and other taxes by over $13,000 this year and every year with lower Medicare premiums. Think about what you could do with all that extra money. Schedule a free, no-obligation second opinion tax review now. Once 2026 is over, tax savings opportunities are gone. Schedule your free review now. Visit BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com or call 708-485-3439. That's BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com, 708-485-3439.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation conversation here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150 AM in Seattle. We're also thrilled for our friends who are joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. Joining me in studio is comedian Tim Walko. He's appearing at the Zanies on Wells in Old Town right here in Chicago on Sunday night, 7 o'clock show. If you go to zanies.com, choose the Chicago site and pick your show, which would be Sunday, 7 o'clock, and type in Walko when you check out, WALKOE, for $10 tickets.
It's a deal.
It is a deal. That
It's
is a
going to be
deal.
a great show. It's nice. Sunday nights are nice. It's a nice, mellow crowd. It's not the one they. Remember we used to do? What was the show we used to do? Was it midnight?
Well, there was an 11:15 show on Saturdays.
11:15.
They still have that, I believe. Don't they still have three shows Saturdays?
That's a fun group.
I'm not.
I mean, it can be a fun group.
I'm too old for this stuff. Is all.
But both the people on stage and off are way too high to be at a show.
Oh my God.
In those days.
I remember one time seeing a comic. I was in my 20s and I saw a comic like start a joke they had just finished, and I was like, "Oh, it's gotta suck, right?" And then like in my late 40s, I started a joke I had just finished because you do 3 shows in one night.
Well, I was imbibing in those days, to say the very least. I will not tell you the number of things that happened. Third show, I go on, going really well. And I do my bit, and then I did it again. And then a guy in the front row goes, "You said that already." And without missing a beat, I said, "Well, I'm trying to prove a point." Light came on. I went off, and Diana Limo finished the show.
Diane.
Yeah, the late Diana Limo.
Diana Limo.
So that's what I remember.
She was amazing. Have you ever heard me tell my stories about Diana Limo?
No, you had to do. Didn't you have to go with her with the kazoo?
With the kazoo.
Because she did colleges.
Oh, no, I didn't do colleges with her. No, She took me to Dayton to do Wiley's because she knew how hard it was for women to get work. And a lot of clubs wouldn't book women with women. She was like, so she wanted to get me into Wiley's. And Wiley's brought me back as a headliner after she brought me.
She's a good friend of mine.
She thought and it was Haney, Rob Haney.
Rob Haney's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I'm still in touch with her.
And he was very cool, liked me, and headlined me the next time. And then she called me one day when my dad was sick. I'll never forget this. The phone rang, and I'd never gotten a phone call from Diane. She just had asked me at a club to come do this gig in Dayton one time. Now she's calling me. My dad was, fighting cancer, and she goes, "Talk to me. How are the nurses treating him? What's his prognosis?
Really?
What's his treatment?" All like she was like, "Tell me everything." And then he died. And she called me like about a week later.
Wow.
She goes, "What are you doing next weekend?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She goes, "You're going to Valparaiso. You're opening for me." And we get in the car. She goes, "Tell me about your dad. Just talk about your dad."
That's so
She's like, "What would
wonderful.
you want everyone to know about him?" Yeah. It was amazing.
She was so cool.
And then she passed away like just 2 months later. She told me about the surgery. She told me she was having valve replacement surgery. And she's, it was like she's basically acted like it was going to be no big deal, like it was, routine. And it was the same procedure that Robin Williams had. And I was in Milwaukee when I got the phone call that they were never able to take her off the machine.
I remember we had just done a showcase for someone down at St. Louis at the Funny Bone, and somebody told me, I went, that's awful.
It was awful.
She was so funny, on and off.
Oh
the
my God,
stage.
yes.
And such a concerned person, like you
Yeah,
said.
she was on the phone constantly with Kathleen Madigan. They were the best of friends.
That's where the kazoo thing came.
Oh, was that what it
She
was?
didn't want Kathleen to mention that she used the kazoo in
No, I had no
college
idea.
acts, maybe for an ending.
Because-
when you're short on an ending in a college show, you'll do anything. You'll juggle a schnauzer. I juggled many a schnauzer with my guitar.
Yeah, I don't think it was weird because I was already friends with Louis Black and I didn't really know Kathleen Madigan, and Kathleen was in the bathroom just crying. But Louis, I believe, was one of the people. I know Rick Hewitt. They helped pay for her funeral.
Oh, I know. I was there.
Yeah. And Louis was. I was so surprised. It was just very sad. Diana Limo at the time. So when I started doing stand up comedy, there were only 2 women headlining in the city of Chicago: Sonia White and Diana Limo.
Right.
That was it.
That was it.
That was it. And then
I think back to how women were not in the shows. You feel guilty at those times. You just went and did it.
Oh, I never thought there was anything you guys could do.
No, I didn't. You're looking back though, and now, believe me, when you put on TikTok, they're getting even with us. There are 703 women on my feeds, and some are very funny, and some should be arrested, like some of the comics that are on there. Hey, crowd work, that's fun to do. Really, is that good writing? Crowd work? Hey, what do you do, Bob? Really, Bob? You really? Shut up.
It's funny.
Write a joke.
Well, the booker at Zanies, while he booked me, and then eventually, I'll be honest, Bert was not that big of a fan of mine. Like he was not.
He could be a little.
Yeah, he was the one. He was the one that said C words aren't funny.
Really?
He was.
But he could say that.
Years ago. Well, I mean, just because you're married to somebody who ain't. But anyway, so Tim's like, leave me out of this conversation.
No, Bert is. I I thought it was wonderful, but I had a little beef with him.
He'd be challenging.
A little bit. Yeah, he was a very intelligent guy. He did his thing, and he lives in St. Louis now. That's his problem.
Yeah, so he ain't listening. Good evening, Patty. Hi, Allison. Please stay hydrated. Take care of yourself, and please be safe. I appreciate it. It is Zanies on Wells, and I'm going to pull it up while we're talking. It's Zanies on Wells. If you go to zanies.com, Zanies. It is Zanies.
It is Zanies.
Zanies, and it's on Wells. There are locations in several places, including Nashville, which is a very fun room.
And Rosemont.
Zanies, let me see. Zanies on Wells. It's 1548 North Wells.
I was close.
1548.
I was in the 15.
1548 North Wells. And you can get tickets by going to zanies.com. Again, it will be Tim Walco this Sunday, 7 o'clock show. So it's not, there's nothing at 1520. I don't know what's at 1520.
Empty lot.
Empty lot, maybe. Let's take a break here. Continue our conversation with comedian Tim Walco, WALKOE for checkout, WALKOE at checkout to get your $10 tickets. I think we're going to talk pickleball when we come back.
Pickleball.
Not birdhouse. We don't have to do that again. I apologize. It's my fault. More after this on WCPT and KKNW.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller in the Weatherology Weather Center. Chance of showers early tonight, otherwise cloudy skies with a low temperature of 62 degrees, north winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunny Wednesday, high of 74 with north winds at 10 to 20. Thursday, lots of sun and a high temperature of 80. Friday, plenty of sunshine and a high temperature of 82. Saturday, sunshine with a high temperature around 83 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 84.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Stephanie Miller.
I get to say my favorite sentence in the entire world. Here comes Kathy Griffin, hero of democracy. Hello.
How are we going to do this? Because I know we're both going to want to talk at the same time because it's a love fest. I am so in love with you. You are so important and wonderful and funny and brilliant, and you are who I aspire to be.
When
I grow up, I want to be you.
No, you.
Stephanie Miller, weekday mornings 8 to 11 on WCPT 820. Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on Progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez.
Thank you for joining me as we continue our conversation. I'm Patty Vasquez. We're driving it home, and joining me as guest co-host is Tim Walco. Comedian Tim Walco is appearing at the Zanies on Wells in Chicago, right here downtown North and Wells. It's 1548 North Wells.
Now we know.
Now I remember. It's all coming
years.
back to me. I mentally blocked it for a bit. The show's at 7 o'clock. Go to zanies.com. Type in WALKOE for $10 tickets. You were telling me about pickleball.
Well, the pickleball, we were here last time I was here. The guy that had the pickleball fight in Florida, whose name was Anthony Tony Sapienzi. And he and his wife were having a doubles match, right? Pickleball at a country club down there in Florida. And he called the guy, speaking of the C word, somebody called him that, and somebody said something, and he went nuts. And they had a fight, and he hit the guy over with a paddle and knocked him cold. And there were 20 people over age 65 in a brawl. You got to love Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You gotta love Florida. Pickle brawl, they called it.
Yeah.
Very famous pickleball.
Nice.
And he and his wife escaped and went and hid. You know where they hid? In their house. That's very smart. That's a good burglar right there. That's a good. Let's assault someone and where we go. We'll go home for a little while. There's a show on I want to see. So yeah, pickleball. It's now there's a pickleball Hall of Fame, and I read this today.
Oh my God! How? Okay.
Well, it's on television.
Okay.
It's in Washington. Kent, Washington was where this insanity started. So they were going to have a place in Austin at the Pickle Ranch. I'm not making that up either. But now there's the next sentence, but we're looking for funding. Really? You're looking for funding. Everybody plays. Give them a nickel. So who wouldn't want to go there?
Oh my
Baseball Hall of Fame, Canton, Pickleball Hall of Fame. Who's driving to Washington? I'm driving to Washington State.
Oh my
Why
God.
not? So yeah, it's.
Well, they started a professional league here now too. Can you, have you got your tickets?
Oh yeah, I have my front row seats because it's the only one. I'm the only one there.
I feel bad. They send me.
It's really good for people to play. Except the truth is, and I do a routine on it, that 60% of all senior citizen emergency room visit in America are pickleball related. And the Organization of Orthopedic Surgeons wrote them a thank you letter.
Oh my God.
So here's one of the things, as an older person, and I'm one. Here's some, you might have a retirement, have a great family, kids. You know, you don't have cartilage. You have no cartilage. And you stop and start like that, you're going to the emergency room. So I'm going to open a pickleball court, and I'll have an ambulance waiting. And next to that, I'll have an immediate care. And after immediate care, I'd have regular care. Then I'd have surgeons, orthopedic surgeons. Then I'd have a rehab. And then I'd have a retirement village. Then I'll have a hospice. It's called Pickleball Hospice. Tuesdays on NBC.
It is amazing how many courts and basketball courts and spaces that they have carved out for pickleball
You know,
use.
Carmel, California has banned it.
Really?
Yeah, the noise, that clicking, if you live near that and and you have your window open, you will find a weapon.
So now the world is turning against pickleball courts and data centers.
Oh,
pick your poison.
Downstate, I was seeing it though. Seriously, downstate near Kankakee, buying up the areas and just horrifying. Well, and also they want to use that thing in Braidwood, the atomic facility. They want to use that for power because it's right there. You will plug into that.
I think they're trying to build a data center in Chicago as well.
There are some in Elk Grove Village.
There's a Chicago data centers. This is a lot. Development of AI center in Chicago's South Loop.
Yeah, that's a great place to go now.
It's designed to be a small scale AI center. Yeah,
and there'll be no water for anybody.
Isn't that what they always say? Let's get to Jim in Chicago. You're on with me and comedian Tim Walka. What's on your mind, Jim?
Hi, Tim. Hi, Patty. This is going to be as dry as a gin martini, and you discover you don't have the price of a bottle of vermouth. But anyway, we're 250 years now. Let's go to the beginning. Thomas Jefferson's party was the Republican Democratic Party versus Adams' party, which was the Federalist Party. And Alexander Hamilton was a Federalist. And there was acrimony right from the very beginning. And if you lived in a Federalist state and you ran into a person who was a Republican Jefferson Party, you get in a brawl right off the bat. In fact, the Lewis and Clark expedition, they had there were about 28 guys, and like 12 of them were Federalists, 20 of them were Republican Democrats, and they wouldn't allow them to bring it up because if they got stiff, they'd start beating each other up. But the point is, now, you're talking about the Birch Society. I had a friend who was in the Birch Society. His old man was in it. They hated Catholics. They hated Jews. They hated immigrants. He had a gun. I mean, it was the whole smear. But anyway, when you look at the Federalist Society today, are they really want to go back to 1803?
Of course they do. Women don't have to vote then.
Yeah, well, sure they didn't have to vote. You're exactly right. And they had the franchise to themselves. But this Supreme Court has got 6 Federalists on it.
Oh,
which is horrible. to me, it's why do they want to go back 250 years? I mean, that's what happened to progress. What happened to I mean, my God, how can you rule from 1803? I mean, it doesn't. It makes no sense. You know what they were doing in 1803? They were bleeding people, Tim.
Yeah, for health. Yeah.
No, not for health. I mean, if you had any, you didn't feel good, they bleed you.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, yeah, they bleed you. They bleed you till you felt a little bit. But of course, you get lighter. You're lighter. You lose enough blood. The point is. But the point is, haven't we progressed a little bit from that?
We have, but what's really happened is the greed and the amount of money that they have now. It's all going to the top, and they don't care at all. They don't care about people. They're a party of cruelty. In the old days, that happened then. But this now, you're right. It died with Citizens United. It died with the fairness doctrine. It's gone. And the tax structure. My dad was president of a company. He made, when they sold it, he made a lot of money. He didn't care. He wasn't paying attention. Kept in the checkbook. And he said he didn't care about. He wanted to make the business better. They taxed the less 10% of my dad's was 90%. Tax. The last 10%. And all the way up there was very fair because it's a thing to put the money back. When you do that, and Tom Hartman talks about this, and you make the money in a business as opposed to shareholders, because your taxes are high, you put it back in the business for everybody.
Yep.
They hate everybody except the people at the top.
But look at the tax breaks they gave to these guys. I mean, it's insane. But the expense of the middle class, well, I hate to use class in this because I don't believe in it, but, the point is, I made a little money on good years and bad years, good years, bad years. I didn't mind paying the taxes then because I figured, well, geez, I had a good enough year. Sure, I took my account would take the deductions, but I was happy to pay it. I had enough money to go to Europe. I had enough money. Whatever. I figured, what the hell with it? I don't care. Do I care if somebody's getting food stamps or somebody's getting health care?
Or we have schools. We built schools.
Yeah, schools. Yeah, they help the cause too. Yeah. They help the cause too. Anyway, you guys are terrific. You guys have a great night. Tim and Patty, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Have a good one.
Jim is well-versed in history.
Absolutely.
He's a great guy. He's got the Chicago accent of the gods. I love him. But it's true. Jefferson and Adams, and that's the argument was about church and state, and that's why Jefferson didn't. Did you anyone see on HBO the Thomas Jefferson series?
I did not.
Okay, it's very good. That's how lonely Paul and I are lately. And no, it's fantastic. It addresses the slavery issue head on. And it's pretty amazing that little Tommy did and Big Tommy did. In the meantime, being the one guy who's talking for freedom, and then he's written these words. But the good part of him was tremendous. But he didn't physically fight. And at one time, he runs from to Washington, wanted more trips. He goes, Tommy, have you ever been in the Army at all? Mr. Jefferson? He did. George Washington called him out. Are you home? Were you in Virginia? In Monticello? What you doing? Making a clock? When George Washington dreams you out. That's important. But it's a wonderful series, 6-part series on HBO.
I'll take a look at that.
Thomas Jefferson.
It's a documentary?
Yeah, it's got actors in it mostly. Okay. And it's wonderful. And then the whole, did you know that there was a thing, I forget the name of the act, when Britain thought we were going to attack them and they were going to fight them. They had British soldiers living in your home.
Yeah. That's fun. Well, that's the Fourth Amendment, isn't it? The quartering of soldiers.
Third or fourth.
Which one's the quartering of soldiers? That's actually in the
quartering of soldiers.
Yeah, that's because of that. No quartering of soldiers.
Those houses weren't big.
No, they were not.
No plumbing.
Yeah, imagine them knocking on your door. We're gonna need your bed.
We need your bed, and your kid can go outside.
Yeah. There was a quartering act of the quartering of soldiers and mandatory housing of military personnel and private. It's a Third Amendment in the Constitution, which dictates that troops cannot be quartered in any private residence during peacetime without the owner's consent.
Come on in. No.
Yeah, except that means that during war they can. That's just true.
They made some mistakes.
I'm just saying. Well, ultimately, look, who could have foreseen such a corrupt president, and that all three branches
really of that's why they didn't think there could be a man like that, because they were all so close with each other.
Right.
They were in touch with each other, and they would scream at each other and fight with each other, but they all knew each other.
Right.
And the Virginians kind of got the best deal of it all. And whereas Franklin, and it talks about Philadelphia being the belle of liberty, and Franklin being the real hero there.
Yeah.
He had a lot of women. Ben, he wasn't a good-looking young man. He actually had built...
Young man.
Yeah, and
when he was young, yes.
Well, a friend of mine used to be a comic, did this a bit. You're talking about a guy that wants to get laid. How are you? Well, I invented electricity. How you doing, baby? And he also had a thing at his door where it was a periscope where his wife could see his wife coming, so he could...
Ditch the broad.
86 the gal.
I don't know that I've ever seen young images of Benjamin Franklin, because I've only seen the old versions. Oh, let's see. Oh, he was kind of a bit portly. Portly.
Had the same jacket for many years.
Yeah.
That long waistcoat.
That wig is something else. But
you met what those wigs smelled like in 1792?
I mean, do you think they must have had a tolerance for themselves?
There was their olfactory senses were not developed. I've been told that by a doctor.
I would have to imagine.
They had to get up, because if we were back there now, I can't do this.
Yeah, I'd be
Where's
done.
the Uber?
That's where time travel would be a no for me.
Totally.
Yeah, I cannot go back.
I can't go back to it.
He's jump out of the DeLorean. Nope, you're done.
No, can't
you smell.
do it.
You all smell.
No, not it. Not enough spray.
this picture makes him look kind of handsome. Have you been to Philadelphia?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to go.
The Philly,
Walk in his
a place where they boo Santa Claus. You got to like that. They booed Santa Claus.
I forgot about
threw
that.
snowballs at him.
Oh, my God.
I like that. I've been to Monticello also, the home of Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
And it is quite amazing. But the background is,
Yeah, it's a little complicated.
But it attacks the slavery question, which people have head on, and you'll learn a lot. And there's really good and there's really bad, but it's still the things he wrote. And that he wrote with a pen, with the ink and the nothing, and the octopus ink, and all night. Then he'd have to revise it. You don't just push delete.
Yeah.
He rewrote it.
You don't have ChatGPT for that stuff.
No ChatGPT for Tom.
What? We can't. We're in so much trouble, Tim. Let's take a break here. We're hanging out with comedian Tim Walko. He's performing at Zanies on Wells near North Avenue.
Would that be 1548?
That would be 1548
I've
North
heard
Wells.
of it.
I think
I've
that's about
heard
right. It's $10 tickets with the promo code WALKO, WALKOE, all caps when you check out. That's Tim Walko this Sunday, 7 o'clock show at Zanies on Wells. When we come back, we're going to talk to our friend Courtney Fromm, executive director of the H Foundation. They have their Goombay Bash coming up at Navy Pier, Chicago's largest and most joyful cancer fundraiser this Saturday. More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1115 Seattle. Hello to all of our friends on Facebook and YouTube and Monaco Brewing Company Substack. And thank you to our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters, Source Solar,
Peter Sellers.
Yes, and Monaco Brewing Company. More in a moment.
You know, one of the best parts of summer around here is Fair Week, and it's almost here. The 2026 McHenry County Fair returns to Woodstock August 4th through the 9th, and they've packed the week with something for everyone. Whether you're cheering on the action at the Next Level Bull Riding Rodeo, catching the horsepower at the tractor and truck pulls, watching the quad racing, or waiting for the Demolition Derby, there's never a dull moment. And when the grandstand lights go down, stick around for live performances from country favorite Alex Miller and the always entertaining Feudin' Hillbillies. Of course, it wouldn't be the fair without carnival rides, mouth-watering fair food, livestock exhibits, local vendors, and all those traditions you look forward to every summer. So grab your family, your friends, and make some memories at the 2026 McHenry County Fair, August 4th through the 9th. Get your tickets and see the full schedule today at McHenryCountyFair.com.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
Driving it home with Patty Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home. And joining me in the studio is my guest co-host, Tim Walko, who's performing at the Zanies on Wells this Sunday night, 7 p.m. show. And you can go to zanies.com for ticket information, as well as purchasing your tickets. You can use promo code WALKO, WALKOE, all caps, for your promo code to use for $10 tickets, which is a great bargain. Another event coming up this weekend that you should know about is Chicago's largest and most joyful cancer fundraiser, the Goombay Bash, this Saturday at Navy Pier Aon Ballroom. You can go to goombaybash.com. That's goombaybash.com. And joining us on the line is Courtney Fromm, the executive director of the H Foundation. Hi, Courtney. You're on with me and Tim Walko. How are things going ahead of the last few days? I know big events like this, there's a lot of last-minute planning and everything. How's it going?
Hi, Patty. Oh, we're doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having us on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell folks about the genesis, the beginning of the H Foundation.
Sure. So we actually got started just as a group of friends who wanted to make a difference in the fight against cancer. We are actually based out in the suburbs. So what started at Horton's Home Lighting in LaGrange, an employee was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 31, unfortunately lost her battle within just a few months of battling breast cancer. And so the idea was to throw a party, shorts, flip-flops, Hawaiian shirts, based off of your typical black tie, and just raise some money, have some fun, raise some money in support of those who have a cancer story. And we have now been around since 2001. Our event has grown to a much bigger scale down at Navy Pier at the Aon Grand Ballroom. And last year we were lucky enough to welcome Rob Lowe to the event. Wow. This year we're very excited to have Gary Sinise joining us, who's going to share his stories about cancer, why it's personal to him, and about the book that he's releasing in November about his son's cancer battle. well.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like with the work that you've done for such a long time, I mean, the stories, there's so many stories. Nobody is untouched by the impact of cancer. And
that is so true. That's kind of one of our taglines as well, is cancer is personal. Unfortunately, since 2001, you can't go a day without hearing a story. And so, when we got started, that was kind of one of the big things. We wanted to make sure that our money stayed local. It stayed here in Chicago to support the Robert H. Lurie Comprehensive Cancer Center of Northwestern University. And we wanted it to support all types of cancer. So we've never just designated it toward one type. It's basic science cancer research. So breakthrough research, really that beginning level that is making a huge impact in the world of cancer research.
And I know that you want to make this the most fun, right? It's the most joyful. Tell us a little about that energy that everybody brings to this event.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it was one of our original ideas. It was never about, being the typical black tie or, bringing the room down or the mood or anything like that, because, again, we all have a story. And so it's not just about the sad stories. It's about the celebrations and the wins and things in research that take us to that next level. And so we based the event off of that. Again, it was inspired by the Caribbean cocktail, the Goombay Smash. And so that's our signature drink at the event. And like I said before, it's shorts, flip-flops, Hawaiian shirts. Everyone in that room, it's colorful, it's fun. And so that's kind of been our theme from the beginning. And our other events reflect that now, too. But it brings an energy into that ballroom that's kind of unheard of. We call it the Goombay spirit, where you walk into that room and just as a funny story to it, Norm from Cheers, George Wendt, used to be a big supporter of ours. And, we always joked that maybe the Goombay Bash is a little bit like Norm and Cheers, and where everybody knows your name, because you make a friend every time you're there. And I just heard something the other day that I thought was amazing. And it was, if we all have to be in this battle, we may as well be in this battle together, and we may as well have fun doing it. And that's exactly what we've done now for 24 years.
What is in the Goombay Smash?
Sure. So
nice.
In the most basic of recipes, I would say it's coconut rum, a white rum, and then pineapple juice. There is, it was kind of inspired by down in Atlantis. Our board of directors, two of our founders, were actually down for a conference at a bar down there, and they were like, the signature drink is the Goombay Smash, and they started enjoying them and brought them back to the town of LaGrange, and now people have been enjoying it here ever since.
That's great.
And tell folks about the impact you guys have had. I mean, there's a lot of work that you've directly been able to tie to the fundraising that you've done, which is incredible, too, because a lot of people want to know, right? Like I can tell you my son's favorite president is FDR, because he learned when he was little, he learned that FDR and the March of Dimes was the foundation that found the treatment that saved his brother's life when he was born, was surfactant. So it's interesting when you can see what an organization actually does, because we hear about these fundraisers in the back, but you guys also have quantifiable results, don't you?
We do. Since we got started in 2001, we've raised over $15 million. And like I said before, the money all stays local. We donate right to the Lurie Cancer Center. But our money is a little bit different. So our money in basic science is kind of like seed money. So we invest in those early stage projects so that they can go on to compete for additional grants and fundraising. So our $15 million, for what we can track back, and I mean truly to 2015 of what we can track, unfortunately not before that, we've raised over $300 million of additional funding for the Lurie Cancer Center to accelerate these projects, go on for additional funding, and truly find cures and treatments that are helping people live longer and live healthier lives.
Yeah, I'm looking at the incredible stuff about, the differences in pancreatic cancer and metabolism trigger to cancer cell death. And it's just really fascinating. And I love that you guys provide that information in addition to, the event, right? So tell folks about let us know about some of the sponsors that you would like to highlight as well.
Absolutely. We've been really fortunate. We've got a great network of supporters. We welcome over 1,000 people down at Navy Pier for this event. And we're joined by a lot of different companies, a lot of individuals who want to make a difference. We're very thrilled to welcome Becknell Industrial back again with a very large sponsorship. We're very involved within the lighting industry, just based on the fact that we got started at Horton's Home Lighting in LaGrange. And so we have a lot of those major lighting vendors that are involved, Satco and WAC, and, the list goes on. And it's amazing to see. I've worked with other nonprofits in the past. I've been part of the H Foundation for over 11 years now. And what I've come to realize is that the Goombay Bash is a place where everyone can come together. So no matter if it's competitors in a business, no matter how much you've donated or whatever that might be, it's a place in which everyone comes together to make a difference. And you all feel as though you've made that difference the night of the event. And it's truly a celebration. You have to be there to experience it. It's hard to just describe it because it's a feeling.
And I love that Jim Peterick and Otis Wilson are part of your honorary board. That's amazing.
They are. It's been an amazing journey for us. Jim Peterick's been a long-time supporter. We actually named an award, the Eye of the Tiger Award, a few years ago. And we've had the ability to give that award out to a few different people. So Mike Lowe from WGN last year received the award. Ryan Steinberg, while he was in his fight, received the award as well. So it was really designed for someone just like Jim to stand up to cancer, to make a difference, to share their story, to impact others. And so just those connections, even like I mentioned before, Rob Lowe's connection to cancer and, standing on that stage in the middle of 1,000 people and, truly sharing the personal reason, just like everyone that cancer has touched his life. It's an amazing feeling. And we're very honored that it's not only this event, we have 2 other events that we do as well. We're actually doing an event November 5th called Comedy for Cancer. Patty, I think you've been at that event before. And this year we are actually lucky enough that Martin Short is headlining that event for us.
The greatest.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. Someday, Tim, I'll tell you about the night that I spent hanging out with Martin Short and Lemon Drop Martinis. That guy, just saying. Just saying. Oh, how fun. Tell us a bit about there's also auction items for folks to help support the work that you're doing.
Yes. So, again, the Goombay Bash is based off your typical black ties. We have silent auctions. We have balloon raffles. We have live auctions. So there's something for everyone, whether it's a volunteer that's there or someone looking to spend, for an amazing trip. We're excited to share that this year we have a trip for 2 to see Andre Bocelli in his hometown in Italy.
What?
I know.
Amazing.
We've got, just some great things. We have an entire Pappy Van Winkle collection. We're just really, really grateful that there's so many people out there looking for a way to help support. And, they found the H Foundation as a way to do that and make a difference in cancer research.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
You have to be the greatest fundraiser I've ever heard in my life. You should be very, very proud of yourself.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Why
that.
don't you just bring the whole island? Go to Italy and bring every opera singer because you have the gift of grab, as they say.
The gift of grab. That's
wonderful. It's so you got to be so proud of yourself.
That's amazing.
It's so
well,
wonderful.
I appreciate it. And you know what? Honestly, I tell everyone, it takes passion. Cancer has touched my life. I've had family members, unfortunately, have been touched by it, and. Again, you can't meet someone that hasn't had a story. And so it just continues to inspire us with what we do. And, the relationship with the Laurie Cancer Center and just how amazing they have been of stewards of those dollars. It blows me away every time I think about it.
It's a tremendous work that you're doing. Everybody involved with the Goombay Bash. Go to goombay-bash.com. And folks, if you can't make it to the event, I'm guessing if they buy raffle tickets, they don't have to be there to win because you've got $50 raffle tickets. Folks, you can buy a raffle ticket for your chance to win $10,000 and support the work. If you can't make it to Navy Pier, Chicago's most joyful cancer fundraiser and the largest one happening at Navy Pier Aeon Ballroom, which is such a great venue.
That's a huge. I did it once. I entertained there once. 800 people.
That's wild.
Hard to get to the back row. With the jokes.
GoombayBash.com. And thank you so much. We are so thrilled to have had Courtney the executive director of the H Foundation, joining us. We wish you the very best. I know it's going to be a wild success, and we look forward to keeping up on all. Hey, look, if you want Martin Short to come on and promote the event at the tab, it's more than happy to have him on the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell him I hung out with him for an evening at Laugh Fest in Grand Rapids. Thanks so much.
All right, I will remind him.
He won't remember. Don't forget. He won't remember. But anyway, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on. Anytime you need us, make the call, and Chris and Lisa will make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care. Oh, it's so exciting.
Wow, the wonderful person.
Oh, it's so great.
And everybody. The one thing about when they do the baseball thing, whether it's Lou Gehrig's or it's this, and they all hold a name.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's out of me.
I know, Tim. Thank you. I lost my dad. We were just talking about my dad.
My brother and my mother.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's everybody.
Yep, I know.
And that's what's so good about what they're doing. And you don't have to have an argument about anything. You've all shared that.
Exactly.
And Martin Short, there's a show on him. Once again, as I watch way too much streaming, and it's about him. What a wonderful.
Oh, he's
funny,
such a sweet man.
Sweet man. And he entertains. Steve Martin starts out the show saying, if you're having a house party and Martin Short can't make it, cancel the party. Cancel the party. He entertains the kids. He entertains the pets. He entertains the older people. He's so funny.
Yeah.
And his look is so, and just as Jerry Lewis, and the thing with Betty Davis, have you ever seen that on The Tonight Show? It's
when she was sitting right there. Let's take a break here. We'll continue our conversation with Tim Walco on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF. Coming up.
This summer, celebrate music, community, and unforgettable nights under the stars at Ravinia. Experience Brandi Carlile, Grace Jones and Janelle Monáe, Hugh Jackman, and Chance the Rapper, plus performances from the Chicago Symphony Orchestra all season long. Live music, iconic artists, and summer nights await in Highland Park. Tickets are on sale now at ravinia.org.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call and click Grainger.com or just stop by.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faced questions and protests at a Senate hearing today. Ed Donahue has a report.
Hegseth says the cost to fight the war in Iran has gone up.
The estimate we have as of today is $37.5 billion.
Hegseth says without more funding, the military faces critical shortfalls.
This request is an urgent, necessary injection of resources to address the immediate needs of our department.
Washington Democrat Patty Murray says the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and President Trump had mentioned several times a deal is near and the war would be over.
This war is now spiraling out of control again. The president is threatening escalation and war crimes and suggesting this could be another forever war.
Hegseth was interrupted during the hearing.
Stop bombing our children in Iran and Palestine. This is illegal.
The White House issued a statement urging support of the budget resolution without modification immediately. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The U.S. and Iran exchanged strikes for a 10th consecutive day, overshadowing diplomatic efforts in Pakistan to salvage the ceasefire deal that collapsed earlier this month. President Trump's current take?
They want to desperately meet, and until they're ready to meet in a meaningful way, we have no interest.
The Mexican man struck and killed by a tractor-trailer while running from an encounter with federal agents in Florida had been vacationing in the U.S. on a tourist visa. That's according to a Mexican government official and the founder of a farm workers advocacy organization helping the man's widow. And in England,
prosecutors say the man charged with killing former politician and reality TV contestant Anne Widdecombe struck her 21 times in the head with a hammer while she was eating lunch at her home in an isolated southwest England village, and Widdecombe was found dead the next day. Joshua Kerry, 28, was arrested July 11 in South Yorkshire, over 200 miles from the crime scene. I'm Charles Tilladesma.
This is AP News. A primary day in Arizona.
Arizona Republicans are choosing nominees to challenge Democrats in key state offices. Candidates include U.S. Reps Andy Biggs and David Schweikart, who are vying to take on Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs. Biggs is endorsed by President Trump and aims to unite the party. Schweikart believes his pro-business approach can win back voters. Both parties have contested primaries for Schweikart's current House district, a battleground for congressional control. The Democratic Party Party backed Marlene Galan Woods, while Trump has endorsed former Cardinals kicker Jay Feely. Republicans are also picking nominees for Secretary of State and Attorney General. I'm Julie Walker.
In New Jersey's governor says about 6,600 non-citizens were registered to vote in the state in 2023 and 24 because of a motor vehicle system error. Fewer than 400 ended up casting ballots. More news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 8:20 a.m. WCPT Willow Springs and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller in the Weatherology Weather Center. Chance of showers early tonight, otherwise cloudy skies with a low temperature of 62 degrees. North winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunny Wednesday, high of 74 with north winds at 10 to 20. Thursday, lots of sun and a high temperature of 80. Friday, plenty of sunshine and a high temperature of 82. Saturday, sunshine with a high temperature around 83 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 84.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Many of our U.S. veterans and service members face challenges, mental health struggles, housing obstacles, food insecurity, and social isolation, to name just a few. I'm Bob Woodruff. My family and I started the Bob Woodruff Foundation in 2006 after I sustained a life-threatening injury while reporting from Iraq. Our service members had my back that day, and we need to have theirs now more than ever. At our foundation, we invest in solutions, so learn more about our work at bobwoodrufffoundation.org/success.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Driving it home with Patty Vasquez, Patty Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patty Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation here on Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez. That's me. I'm Patty Vasquez. Joining me in studio is my guest co-host, Tim Walgo. He's performing at Zanies on Wells at 1548 North Wells this Sunday, 7 o'clock show. You can go to zanies.com. If you use Walgo, WALKOE, all caps, that's your promo code for $10 tickets. Tim, we have, I'll have to send you home with some Minocqua Brewing Company products because they are a sponsor of the show.
I love Minocqua. I love it all.
I actually have a THC beverage called a Joint Session.
I had a THC beverage over in Evanston.
Uh-huh.
And it was a good little buzz there.
Is that a nice little buzz?
It's a little nice.
Little numbing?
You're not going to go rob a bank.
No, exactly.
Well, you might.
I mean, well, you'd
depends.
be very slowly.
It was near Rogers Park, and there was a bank right there. But no, it's pretty cool. And you don't feel it's in between. Anybody tried, then they do an ad and Joe Rogan, because could he be dumber? Is it possible?
Rogan was talking about Willie Nelson's
I was going to talk,
THC.
and he said, "That's good, man.
It's good
really
stuff.
Good. It's good. It's good, man." That's a joke.
Can you imagine? I mean, it's
look. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
No, 6th grade reading level in Joe Rogan.
Exactly.
I rest my case.
Exactly.
They say he's a good guy. He repeats. He might be. Personally, but he lets conspiracy people like it's okay.
Right.
Challenge the idiot. Yeah, if you eat 6 chickens and put them in your eye,
oh my
you'll
God,
win a state seat, then you'll be governor. Really? How did that work? Shut up.
I mean, really?
Did he get hit in the head a lot?
He's a guy. I mean, he went from he's just a social media famous, and it's hard to explain to some people. I know that he was a reality TV star. He was a sitcom star ish. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't the biggest star on that show, News Radio.
It was News Radio. It was in that. He was a good show.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show.
No, that's good stuff about him, and people that know him say he's a good guy, and go, "No, you're not a good guy when you let hatred rule on your show and not challenge it."
And knowing that you're part of it.
Well, I don't think he knows. I think whatever it is, right. I think there's a naivete there that's sad.
Yeah.
And somebody said about a Republican election, we can't win. That the most young males who are in real politics. You ever listen to Scott Galloway?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, he's my man. Talking about the problems with young males.
Yeah.
You know that 60 or 20%, they've never had a date.
Oh, my God.
Under the age of 60.
Well,
they haven't had a date because they have pornography and games and sports in their room, and they live at home.
That's a good point, actually.
And no, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's pretty conservative in his own ways.
He moved to England, I think, or something, didn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
He had a thing he said, he also said, when you have $1 billion, could you take care of all your friends and give some of it away?
I mean,
like I do, like all of us should.
Yeah,
like all of us should.
I mean, I don't have any friends that are billionaires. Do I? I don't think I have any friends.
No.
Do I?
He also had a great thing. He said he gave up Uber. He was Ubering so much. His bill was $90,000 for the year.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
He was going everywhere in New York.
Right.
And so he said, I like public transportation. He said, I'm enjoying the system and it works for me. I'm sure I have to take things somewhere else that the train doesn't go
right
to them. And he talks about these guys with the private jets, and they have no. People say they have no interest. They don't. We don't exist to them because they don't need us. They have their own airports.
Yes, they don't have to buy airline tickets. They're not filling up their gas tanks. No,
they have their own doctors. It's that the billionaire wealth is the most frightening thing that's ever happened in the world, in my personal opinion, because there's a few of them, and there's a hell of a lot of us if we just concentrate.
Yeah.
And do what we can do. But they think this bro thing. How about Peter Thiel? Peter Thiel moving to Argentina because most Nazis do move there.
I mean,
most Nazis do go there.
You're not wrong.
Maybe he'll take Vance with him. How can a guy change his name like 17 times and become vice president? There should be a rule there after the 16th time. You're not Jimmy Bowman anymore.
No.
And he's talking about how Catholic he is. I don't think he was Catholic as a kid. He's written a new book. How about him? He said he knows more about Catholicism and Jesus than the Pope. Next question, you idiot. You fool. How's the eyeliner?
Geez.
How's the eyeliner? What's up? How's it going? How's it going on Grindr? Is it working for you, Grindr?
Oh, my God.
I love that Grindr blows up every time there's a Republican convention.
Isn't that wild?
It triples. They have to triple the number of servers.
Gosh, this whole thing.
It's insanity. It's insanity. But
they doth do protest too much.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Oh, we lost a big one. Anyway.
Lady Lindsay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was wild.
Here's John McCain's best friend. And he's really... Here's one thing. If you're closeted and you don't ever come out, that's how they blackmail you. That's why that stuff, no matter what you do.
Right.
If you're a this, if you're a that, if you're that, if they have the tapes on you, which they do, on all these people and all these other billionaires, you don't think when they go on vacation, we can get some hookers. Really? Hookers and CEOs? When did that start? The 3rd century. Cave CEOs. Cave CEOs had real hookers with real rocks and hooks. We're living in a strange world.
We are living in a very strange world.
Strangers in a strange land.
Did you see any of Pete Hegseth's testimony today?
It's hard to look at.
He's really hard to look at him.
He is so. Could you just come and get out of the closet?
He's very obsessed with testosterone. And
here's a classic. Here's a classic for war. The war right now, it's not fighting people with testosterone. It's pushing a button on a computer. It's computer knowledge. It's all tech.
It's all video game
Do you
stuff.
need testosterone? I can't hit the Y. I can't hit the Y on my. Shut up.
Yeah.
What a horrifying. Everybody in that cabinet's horrifying.
They
He
really
fired
are.
another woman today. Not
Did
that
they
I
really?
liked.
Another one? So all the broads are gone?
All the girls are out.
Oh, my God.
Somebody
because I was thinking about that today.
Transportation or something. I don't know what she did.
So Noam, Bondi, Gabbard, right? They're all
And
gone.
this girl's gone.
I don't even know who
Laura,
this was.
sounded like Laura Loomer, but I'm going to write a song about Trump face.
Oh, yeah, the plastic surgery. Like,
Wow.
They look like they've been sucked into a sewer. Like,
it's in the
there's
blood.
like their lips get up to their nose.
They
and
have hair and
very
extensions. Trump face, doing that crazy Trump face to the Bo Diddley beat.
I don't know what that. The
What
Laura
is that?
Loomer face is creepy. So, Secretary of Transportation, you said? Or
I think it was transportation.
Somebody, I'll take a look. I'm just looking for the news right now.
Idiot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. Well, I'll take a look.
Yeah, but I knew it would be. When I was saying, I'm reading it, go, I bet you it's the woman. And it was. They're all gone first.
They're all gone. Who's left? Chrissy, just the Catherine, what's her name, right? What's the woman's name that does the press conferences? I forget her.
she's
Caroline.
She's horrifying.
She really is.
She still owes like $300,000 or something on when she ran for Congress. She hasn't paid a penny of it. She ran in like South Carolina because, that's a very progressive state. And the whole thing's incredible. And this Kirk thing, this woman, Turning Point, I'm sorry. That's connected to it's way more evil than you think. And she is such an actress. She was his handler. Write it down.
I mean, we haven't heard much about Erica lately.
She ran out of the courtroom. They were doing fake things.
That's right.
You know, you always want to pave over a crime scene. That's what the police teach you. Pave it over with cement. No, we can't get any evidence. It was so Utah out. It was so, I won't say what I think I know it is.
So bizarre.
It is.
We are hanging out with Tim Walco, who's going to be at Zany's on Wells in Chicago
With
this
Mike
Sunday.
Maxwell
with
and
Mike
Elaine
Maxwell.
Golden.
And Elaine Golden.
Yes.
Excellent. You can go to Zanies.com for ticket information. You can purchase tickets and use the promo code WALKOE, WALKOE, all caps, to get your tickets at $10 each. I also want to thank our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and put in an order for the best single origin roasted to order coffee beans you'll ever have. They were mad at me. Not mad. They were chagrined that I was using my blender to grind up my coffee beans. And
what are you supposed to
grinder, like a dedicated grinder. It's better for the coffee
grinder?
oils.
You mean like the website I was talking
yes,
about?
Yes, exactly. Not that grinder.
Dedicated grinder.
So you can get the right consistency, like you want it finely ground.
The coffee people are very,
they're very particular.
Sorry.
I apologize.
You have a Mr. Coffee? Yeah, I'm very lazy.
I found out for a while Steve was blending Folgers with my Pride Coffee Roasters. I know. He's like, well, no, I want it to last longer for you. That's not how any of this works. And I'm not having Pride Coffee Roasters.
I want it as strong as it can be.
Exactly.
I have to go do things.
I want it to be kicking ass and taking names throughout the day. That's whatever. It's pridecoffeeroasters.com. It's every cup of coffee. It's like a love letter in a mug. You can also go to source.solar to find out more about solar panels on your house or business. We want you to make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. He'll walk you through the entire process. He's now partnering with Illinois Solar for All to help you with the financing. And when you go green, you save green. That's source.solar. Who else am I missing? It's all great sponsors.
You have so many sponsors.
I know, I'm very
and now you have
happy with
18 outlets. By the time you're done, the show's over.
I mean, there's all that.
And then there's Bob's new station. He's in France. He won W France.
With this memo of agreement with Iran, apparently it doesn't include not bombing them for 10 days in a row. And then we decimated their entire military. They have nothing to hit us with. And then
we have nothing left. Do you ever watch the real stuff? I mean, I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
We have not much left. It's like, and then you can't, it's so horrifying. He doesn't know what Netanyahu talked him into it. And Lindsey Graham told Netanyahu how to do it with Trump, and I rest my case there. He can't stop it because he didn't know it was about the Strait of Hormuz. He probably thought Hormuz was a term about a hooker, like a cow hooker.
I was going to say
cow hookers for $300.
This Hormuz. Every time.
This is brought to you by Hormuz.
By the way, Republican called Congress's move to ask for more than $11 billion for the Ag Department as a part of a supplemental funding for the war, Iran war, ironic. What's ironic is the bailout for the farmers was necessitated by the war with Iran. Wow.
It's a circle.
Look at a Republican putting 2 and 2 together. What?
Holy cow, how'd that
Oh,
happen?
my God. Because he's on his way out, isn't he?
How about his farms? Well, he's going to be dead
I'm just saying.
How about the farm guy, his buddy with the diarrhea man? Doesn't let his people take bathroom breaks. That's what you want, someone that handles vegetables, to be able to not ever go to the restroom.
There was somebody who made a video about Taylor Farms not letting their workers go to the bathroom so they would take a dump in the fields, which then gets into the water supply. And then,
how'd people get sick? I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, the FDA, after first saying that it was Taylor Farms as the origin of
they got exonerated.
Cyclospora.
Fake.
After finding out that they had given over $1 million to Donald Trump.
They hired a guy to take a look at it.
Oops. Yeah, they went to They went to meet with Trump at the White House.
They called him.
Of course, they went there in person and said, "Hey, not for nothing. Maybe you should."
A lot of money. He gave you a lot of money.
I'm just saying.
I think he had something to do with E. coli and COVID anyway. But how about the golfer, Brand, whatever, did something. Very great golfer. He's on the Live Tour.
Oh.
So he was in a 2-stroke penalty in the Scottish Open. He wanted to call Trump.
What?
I'll call that president, like he got them called for the World Cup.
Oh my
when the guy
God.
got the yellow card. We should have yellow cards in our houses. If somebody acts up. Red card for kids, yellow card, you out.
You're out.
One person in the house, like your grandmother who goes, what color was I? Purple. But no, that's they're so. Oh,
let's continue. You guys can join us if you want to give us a call. 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-9278. I'm guest co-hosting with comedian Tim Walco. He'll be performing at Zanies on Wells in Chicago. That's Zanies on Wells right here in Chicago. That's 15. What do we say? 1548 North Wells.
We're losing our minds.
Zanies.com. When you type in Walco for your promo code WALKOE, all caps, you'll get $10 tickets, which is a great bargain for a comedy show in Chicago at Zanies, legendary Zanies Comedy Club right here in Chicago. More after this.
Take summer to the next level with the stunning performance of a Porsche. Find the perfect model for you at the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Browse and test drive our extensive selection, like the 2026 Porsche Cayenne. Right now, lease the 2026 Cayenne for just $1149 a month for 39 months. Discover performance like no other when you visit the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com.
$10,859 due incentive for qualified buyers. Excludes tax title license and dealer fee. No security deposit required. See dealer for details. Offer ends 7/31/26.
If you're looking to refinance a home after a divorce, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Today, meet Lori, 50, social worker, score 650, income 90 G's a year. Call to refinance her mentally abusive ex-husband off the mortgage and title of their marital home per the divorce decree. Team Hochberg loan officer Anna Webdell helped Lori remove her ex-husband from the mortgage and title of the home, pay off debt totaling over $60,000, which included her attorney's fees, and saved her over $1,000 a month. Let's review. Team Hochberg loan officer Anna Webdell helped Lori remove her mentally abusive ex-husband from the mortgage and deed of the marital home, pay off all her debt, attorney's bills, and saved her over $1,000 a month. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
Patty Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKW 1150 Seattle, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Hi to our friends who are tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, and now Substack with Monaco Brewing Company. Of course, our podcast all available at heartlandsignal.com. And in studio, we have with us Tim Walco. Comedian Tim Walco will be at Zanies on Wells in Chicago, 1548 North Wells.
Enough already.
Near North and Wells.
Either they're coming or they're not.
Zanies. But they might be just getting in their car.
That's true.
The radio.
I see a lot of people getting in their cars. There's no window here.
How about the smoke we had for a couple days?
Oh, I had a great thing. A friend of mine told me this. He was watching the news, and one of the weathermen. First of all, there's not a weatherman in Chicago that says the word temperature. It's not temperature. It's not poinsettia either. Anyhow,
temperature. Is that what
temperature? For God's sake, it's what you do. I'm not a comic. I'm a comic. So anyway, the weatherman was freaking out. He goes, don't go outside. And if you have COPD or asthma, do not go out. And he goes, and if you go out for 1 hour, he might have been able to see, because that's the equivalent of 7 cigarettes.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard.
I smoked that when I was 9 behind the garage in their house in Rhineland there. 7? No. My dad would still be alive. He died of lung cancer.
So did my dad. Yeah. My dad was up to 4 packs of non-filtered
My dad did
Camels.
4 packs of Camels.
Isn't that crazy?
They should have
Non-filters.
hung out together.
I mean, could have. They might have. Who knows? My dad hung out over at that Dunkin' Donuts. Remember I told you that? Milwaukee and Devon.
Milwaukee and Devon, where there's a Subway. But that's an unpleasant place. Anyway.
I mean,
there's no kitchen.
Well,
it's a restaurant with no kitchen.
Have you seen that Dunkin' Donuts? Because I don't know if you've ever. Back in the 70s and 80s,
they were very
it had a
good.
countertop. Remember, it had like that, almost like that wave countertop with the bolted down, like the stools and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of, like, my dad was an alcoholic. So I think it was like his in between the bars. He could go hang out there. It was like being in another bar having a cigarette and a cup of coffee.
Beautiful thing.
And but now it's like, and with all due respect to Dunkin' Donuts, in case they ever want to sponsor, which I doubt that they will, but like it's basically
They're
like
owned by some big
it's like
corporation.
it's like this cord, like you just go in and get out.
It's like
just basically
might as well have a moving floor.
Yes, they should.
An escalator type thing. And
It's like 2 tables. Like there's hardly any.
Nobody there. You
Amazing.
sit there and you sit down. You go, this is the most uncomfortable chair I've ever been in.
Seriously.
And it's not. You know what? I go to Northwestern Hospital. It's a wonderful hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they do a double lung transplant, they have Stan's Donuts. I rest my case. A lot of people there are just there for the donuts. You're going to have a bypass?
Oh, my God,
Well,
I'm
after
so
I go to
hungry.
Stan's, I'm going to have a bypass.
You know, you just reminded me next. So every time
Yeah,
Tom,
but Murray, I don't
you should come in sometime when Tom Appel is here. He brings pastries every time, in case you're interested.
Oh, wow.
He brings them from Spunky Dunkers in Palatine.
That's a great name.
Isn't that great? Spunky Dunkers.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a sex act in a fraternity house.
That's
Or a rock group.
The opinions
Or a
of the
rock group.
comedians joining the show may or may not be the opinions of the host and station. It's Tim Walco and Zanies on Wells.
Oh, Lord, 1597, 4 and 3.
Zanies.com for your tickets, shows at 7 o'clock. Let me remind folks what's coming up on the shows tomorrow. On Choose Views, he'll have contributor Kurt Mullett, a.k.a. Hoosier Blue 63. Illinois State Rep Robyn Gabel will be joining him. She is the majority leader of the Illinois House of Reps. That's Choose Views tomorrow from 6 to 8 a.m. On Jonas Esposito, live, local, and progressive, Sarah Lambden, Executive Director of the American Library Association's Office for Intellectual Freedom. Tom Hartman will be on with her, and David Lehman, former Providence, Rhode Island news anchor. And that's live, local, and progressive from 2 to 5 p.m. And don't forget, please consider subscribing for your newsletter with Heartland Signal. Go to heartlandsignal.com, and you can get a newsletter from Aaron Kleiman, who delivers Radio Free America every week.
That's great. This is great, the new stations and everything.
Our newsroom,
great cities.
our newsroom is doing a great job. Like, there was one guy who was in office for a while, and they just called his office and they said, "Hey, we found this report that previously he had made jokes about he wanted to apply to be a lifeguard, but he couldn't be a He walked into basically a park district meeting." Right, as the mayor of the town. I was like, Wausau, I think. And he walks in and sorry, Wausau. It might not be you, but I'm pretty sure it is. But anyway, he walks in and he goes, can I apply to be a lifeguard? Never mind. I can't control myself around teenage girls. Said that out loud to everybody in the room.
Is that on his campaign statement?
So when they called and asked about it, he's like, you know what? Maybe I won't run again. Maybe I won't be doing that again.
Lifeguard?
Go lifeguard.
You were a lifeguard.
I was. I loved
my
lifeguard.
counselor, my psychologist, Christine, was the lifeguard.
Oh, really?
Rainbow Beach.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, I was North Avenue Beach.
Yeah.
Every time I see an image, you know what? I can't say this on the air. Anyway, Oak Street Beach and North Avenue Beach had a rivalry, and we would talk about why the trees lean in one direction or the other. And it was about blowing and the way the wind blows. Yes. And sucks.
My friend, it's blowing in the wind. It's also off of Central. Anyhow.
Best job. What was your favorite job as a teenager? Did you work as a teenager before?
I rarely worked. Are you kidding me? I worked at the drugstore in Edgebrook.
Okay.
And the first thing.
Where was the drugstore?
We had 4 drugstores in Edgebrook. Because they were owned by humans as opposed to corporations.
Would you have Russell Stevens? Did you have?
No. We had Turks. We had.
Rexall? You have a Rexall?
No, none of those.
Okay.
Hoshite wasn't it? No one would name them Hoshite. That was his last name. He
yeah.
ended up buying a McDonald's, and at that point in the 60s, people went, boy, that's stupid. Now he owns half of the state. And there was another one called, there were Turks, and there was Scouts, and he made sodas.
Okay.
On Lehigh
like a soda
and
fountain?
Devon. Yeah, and he had magazines with exotic pictures.
Oh,
Kids.
dear.
We just would sit in there and drink Coke and can I sue that detective magazine again? And so the first job I go to at the drugstore, I go, I'm behind the counter. I don't know. I have a sweater vest. And it looks like that thing you hit and it bounces back up. Bow tie. And I go there and I said, he goes, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. I said, Don, we call him Don. It was okay. He said, Don, what do I tell people? He goes, I don't know. I said, I don't know anything. I don't know how to work the cash register. He goes, just tell them here we recommend Robitussin cough syrup. So the first guy comes in. Our second guy goes, excuse me, what do you got for an itchy hole?
Okay.
I go, well, we here recommend Robitussin cough syrup. And he bought it and left.
If he had a cough, would you give him a preparation H? What are we doing?
That's the second part of the joke. You're way ahead of me. That's okay. No, what it was he came back and he said, are you the kid that sold me that preparation H for my hemorrhoids? I went, yeah. He goes, they haven't coughed or sneezed in 2 years. So I was selling cough syrup to people with hemorrhoids.
I'm so sorry.
That's great. No, I'm glad you did.
No, I'm sorry. No,
that's hysterical.
I'm sorry.
See, we can finish each other's sentences in our business.
I apologize.
No,
yes.
it's wonderful.
I wasn't sure. That was my fault.
No, it's great. That's what.
Let's do it again. Let's do it.
I had that job, and I had no job. I laid blacktop. There's a joke there, but she was a good kid. I was one day in Valparaiso when I was going to college. We did blacktop, and to you people that do that job, God bless you. And it's horrible.
In the weather in the summer,
horrifying. Picking it up. We lasted one day.
Oh my God!
And then once I got into college, I went to college to play baseball and become a lawyer. I became a rock and roller and a defendant. The two things I was. And I joined a band when I was in freshman year, and we had a record out, and I was making $200 a week in 1965. I was 17, 18.
Wow.
Yeah, so, no, I never had another job. You have that job? I'll play Misty. I don't care what songs you want. And then I worked back, and my dad had factory hair. I did that. I go, this isn't going to work out for me. I'm getting hit in the head by a board and stuff. There was a shop downstairs. Go see the guy. Punch press. How are you? You have no fingers.
Yeah, boy. How did you? And your dad was liberal, even though he was.
No, my dad was a good Republican.
Was he really?
He was a pro-business Republican.
So
he was not a racist.
How'd you turn out this way?
I went to college when I went to Valparaiso, and I would have voted for Goldwater had I been old enough at that point.
Oh, wow.
Not,
okay.
Maybe. And we had a teacher named Dr. Trost, and he turned us on to federalism and why we're all in this together and how states' rights did that and how horrible they were. And that was it for me. 1968, I did two things.
You were radicalized by the leftists.
I was a leftist, the libtards.
You were radicalized.
Radicalized by the common sense. And I wrote, and on the paper was interesting. That it was called The Beacon. It was the Valparaiso Beacon. Now the name of the team is The Beacon. Please change the name back to the Crusaders at least.
The Crusaders is up. Well,
and brown and gold.
It's a
Two
little
colors you don't want.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but it was we had great people, great friends from there. And so in The Beacon, I had two things. I said, God bless Janis Joplin. They printed that. And then the other was capitalism, when unregulated, eats itself.
Oh,
1960, 1968.
You were radical.
For them, they're going, do we have to put this in here? I go, they didn't know what I meant.
Let's take a break here and continue our conversation with comedian Tim Walko. If you want to join our conversation, 773-763-9278. And for texter that's asking, yes, Tim was the comedian that was our surprise guest, in that I surprised him by asking him if he would please join us on stage at Dino's for the fundraiser for Indivisible Elk Grove Village. That was so much fun.
Oh, it was so good.
Let's take a break here and continue our conversation on WCPT, KKNW, KTNF, and everywhere digitally.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller in the Weatherology Weather Center. Chance of showers early tonight, otherwise cloudy skies with a low temperature of 62 degrees, north winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunny Wednesday, high of 74 with north winds at 10 to 20. Thursday, lots of sun and a high temperature of 80. Friday, plenty of sunshine and a high temperature of 82. Saturday, sunshine with a high temperature around 83 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 82.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when we have unbeatable deals on the products you need and trust to get the job done and save you money? Right now, during our summer feed sale, 50-pound bags of AgriMaster layer poultry feed are just $10.99. Save 15% on Hillman hardware and 50-pound Champion's Choice salt blocks, just $6.49. Find value for the work you do every day. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or are covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
For those Chicagoans heading up to southern Wisconsin, should you ever forget to load up on Progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Monaco Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Monaco Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and Progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our drive home. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll hear an interview that I had the opportunity to record with economist Michael Negron, who was a policy advisor for President Joe Biden. Joining me in studio is comedian Tim Walco, my guest co-host. He's appearing at Zany's on Wells 1548 Wells, Zanies.com. Walco for the promo code WALKOE, all caps for your $10 tickets. Tim, you came on a few months ago to talk about a pickle brawl.
Pickle brawl
in
yeah,
Florida.
In 20 people over 65 fighting. What's it called? The pickle brawl. Pickle brawl.
And it has captured your attention.
Well, pickleball is, as I said before, it's a dangerous game. If you're older, you have to get in shape to play it. It's tennis, but it's not as hard as tennis. So I wrote a poem. It's like Bobby and Susie went out to play pickleball, but they didn't get far. Susie fell down and she broke her clavicle. Now Susie's in the ER. Irving and Sarah went out for a doubles match. They thought they were so bitchin'. Irving got hit in the head with a banger. Now he's laying dead in the kitchen. Pickleball, it'll always be Medicare Advantage to me. Good old pickleball. Pickleball USA. Pickleball USA. The ambulance is on its way. 222-2222.
I just don't get the fascination with pickleball. Are there any sports you ever liked playing?
Me, I played
baseball, you said. Yeah.
Baseball, I played football.
Okay.
I'm not good at basketball and hockey. Skating would be something you might want to try.
Yeah, we have to give that a shot.
No, it was mostly baseball and football. And I like volleyball too.
Okay, yeah, volleyball. I had the worst serve. I was precise, but I was one of those. I could only hit the ball. I couldn't do this thing.
Oh, it's a complex game when you get into it.
I don't know if you saw a few months ago. There's a professional volleyball team, a player. I think they're professional. He's very flamboyant. He's very out, and people were like making fun of him, and he doesn't care. He is magnificent. So great. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you watch any of the women's sports like the WNBA?
Occasionally.
Oh my God.
The
fighting is
angry.
Oh my God.
It's angry. It's like ghetto. It's ghetto fest.
It is. I don't know about. I would say the hillbillies are throwing down too.
Yeah. No. I just see parts of it. I go, this is turning into roller derby.
Roller derby would be the best way to describe it. It's like more like roller derby.
Trash talking never really thrilled me.
No, it's getting wild out there. Although I'm very excited about the women's professional baseball league starting. They're playing all games in Springfield, Illinois. I'm going to try to get down there. Yeah, there's only 4 teams. Boston, New York, I want to say San Francisco. I can't remember the other one. Maybe Seattle. There's 4 teams on the coast.
Some girls can play some baseball.
Oh, man. I'm so excited. And they're not softball players. They are baseball players.
Well, that's when they had the leagues. Those girls showed up.
Oh, so good.
Great
So
movie.
good.
There's no crying.
There's no crying in baseball. Tim Walco at Zanies on Wells this Sunday. Go to zanies.com. Thank you, Tim. Come back soon, please.
Thanks, Patty.
Don't
Love you.
hesitate. Don't hesitate to ask. Just ask. Like I lose track of everybody.
You.
Please.
Where
I'm
are
just
we?
saying, what happened?
What day is this?
I know.
Did I tell you
exactly.
about my doctor appointment? Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Negron, who will break down the ugly impact of the Big Beautiful Bill Act coming up after this.
You know, one of the best parts of summer around here is Fair Week, and it's almost here. The 2026 McHenry County Fair returns to Woodstock August 4th through the 9th, and they've packed the week with something for everyone. Whether you're cheering on the action at the Next Level Bull Riding Rodeo, catching the horsepower at the tractor and truck pulls, watching the quad racing, or waiting for the demolition derby, there's never a dull moment. And when the grandstand lights go down, stick around for live performances from country favorite Alex Miller and the always entertaining Feudin' Hillbillies. Of course, it wouldn't be the fair without carnival rides, mouth-watering fair food, livestock exhibits, local vendors, and all those traditions you look forward to every summer. On Friday, August 7th, you can meet me, Patty Vasquez, from 5 to 7 p.m. as we broadcast live at the fair. So grab your family, your friends, and make some memories at the 2026 McHenry County Fair, August 4th through the 9th. Get your tickets and see the full schedule today at McHenryCountyFair.com.
Choose Views with Richard Chew.
I just want to say, you guys are so lucky there with Devin and Whitney and Mike and, of course, Henry, Matt. You guys have such a great crew there. They don't just know how to push the buttons and move the levers. These young people give me hope for the future of this country because they are some of the smartest younger people that I know.
Richard Chew, weekday mornings at 6 on WCPT 820.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. And of course, hello to all of our friends who are tuning in digitally, including YouTube, Facebook, and now our friends on Substack with Minocqua Brewing Company. If you miss any of our shows or want to catch up on something, please check out our podcast available at heartlandsignal.com. I'm very excited to talk to our next guest. He's one of our very own here in Chicago, and we are going to talk about something that, there's such a fire hose of news happening all the time. Things kind of it's easy to have like big moments dissolve. So let's talk about the one big, beautiful name, which they were just so cute about it, weren't they? Let's talk about what it actually does. It makes the 2017 tax cuts for the wealthy permanent, and it pays for them by taking a chainsaw to Medicaid, to food assistance, to the help that lets working people afford to see a doctor. They signed it July 4th last year, of course. They were all big and bold about Independence Day because they think they have a sense of humor. And now the bill's coming due right here. Premiums doubling in places like Illinois, rural hospitals in Minnesota, and Washington doing the math on whether they can survive. Your neighbor choosing between groceries and a prescription. And our next guest helped run economic policy in the Biden White House where things were getting done. We were making progress. We were moving in the right direction. And he's doing something rare. He shows his work. That's pretty important. Michael Negron, welcome to Driving It Home.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's cut, like, what do you call? Because there are words that I call this bill that are not appropriate for the radio. Do you have nicknames for it that are otherwise appropriate?
I actually just call it by what they call it, by what the administration calls it, because they seem to be running from that name now anyway.
Oh, okay.
So they try to I think they've tried to start rebranding it as the Working Families Tax Cut as one version, and so I don't mind. Its name is sort of comedic now, right? Because it's Orwellian in nature. It kind of hides the ball, and so I don't mind tossing the OBBBA back at them at the Republicans.
OBBBA, was that too many B's? Well, yeah, OBBA.
Yeah, I always ask myself as I say it, did I do one or B too many. But
Yeah. Well, I use other letters for it. BS is one of the ones that I use, but that's neither here nor there.
one thing that's funny is it's a one big beautiful bill, which you'd think it'd end there, right? But it's the bill and then act, right? So that's another thing that just makes it weird, right? The one big beautiful bill, act. I don't
It's
know
like It's like ATM machine, right?
Right.
It's in the name. Bill and act. Is there a difference between a bill and an act?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, well, then they had to tack that on. Well, then strip the branding off for us. At its core, what does the OBBA do?
Well, the OBBBA codified some tax cuts that primarily benefited the wealthy. The Center for American Progress did an analysis last year that found that when you added together the tax cuts with the impact of tariffs, that about 99% of Americans ended up worse off under the bill, and the only folks who benefited were the top 1%, and even that, was somewhat limited due to the higher costs. So it's definitely a bill that is skewed towards the wealthy, runs up the deficit about a little over $4 trillion. But it includes a lot of policies in it to try to pay for some of those tax cuts that are just bad for working families, or just bad for people, right? You talked about some of it in your overview. There are massive cuts to Medicaid, massive cuts to SNAP. A lot of that's done through trying to impose more rigid work requirements that the requirements in and of themselves most people would meet that are in the program, but the difference is when you're having to recertify your status, that just creates more paperwork. And so, studies have shown ahead of the bill passing, states had tried similar ideas, and the outcome was ultimately people just falling off the rolls because they had trouble keeping up with the paperwork, and didn't actually result in any more people getting jobs, right? So, I guess one theory might be like, well, if you have work requirements, then more people will be motivated to work. Well, there's no evidence that actually happens. So what we're seeing already, for example, in SNAP, is you've already seen a reduction in SNAP rolls by about 4 million people as states are trying to implement some of these requirements early, because some of this is tied to the states themselves having to pick up more of the tab. And so not every state has the budget to do that. And so we've seen overall about 4 million fall off the rolls. In Illinois, I think it's around 200,000. So you're already seeing an impact now in SNAP. With respect to Medicaid, major cuts there through a similar cocktail of work requirements and putting more of a burden on the states to pick up the tab. That's expected to result in about 7.6 million in coverage losses under Medicaid between now and 2034. And so again, another example of costs being borne by the people who could least afford to bear them, all to pay for tax benefits that primarily benefit the wealthy. And they did include some small tax provisions to try to help them sell it, a no tax on tips policy, tax relief on overtime. But these things those benefits do not make up for the weight of this bill towards the wealthiest and the impact of those cuts on those who can least afford to bear them. So on the whole, it is a bill that is very good for the wealthiest Americans, not very good for the rest of us. And it's all happening at a time when the president's policies are driving up costs for everybody.
Yeah.
With gas prices, grocery prices, whether it's through tariffs, whether it's through the conflict with Iran. This is a bad time. I mean, it would never be a good time to kick millions of people off of these programs. But in an environment where inflation is trending up and no end appears to be in sight, it's an even worse time to be kicking people off of programs that help them make ends meet.
Wow. And of course they made that big show of a woman from DoorDash, a grandmother who had to work a side hustle because first of all, we found out that it was all staged and fake. And of course it was. But it was amazing that they didn't see the absolute misery of a grandmother having to work to keep her husband on their insurance or pay for medical costs. I mean, that doesn't happen in other countries, but that's neither here nor there. So tell us, when you mention how much the fact that the wealthy benefited the most, how much are we talking? You said $4 trillion in our deficit, right?
Yes.
So how much did they benefit? Sorry.
Well, it is predominantly the benefits are going to the wealthiest Americans. We looked at my organization looked at this and found that everybody, when you combine all the president's policies together, and this is last year before the Iran war. So just looking at last year's numbers, everybody lost money except for the top 1%, and the top 1% gained several $1,000s in tax relief and that just gets at the impact of tariffs on everyday costs of living. And so when you combine just the fact that the degree to which anyone was getting a lower tax bill, that number was so small that paying, I think on average, about $1,500 more on goods and services due to the tariffs swallowed it up, and then 99% of Americans ended up in the red when you compared the two. And so that tells you that the benefits were heavily skewed to the top 1%, and that if you're a middle class family, making those tax cuts permanent, maybe it's you save a couple $100s on your tax bill, but you've more than lost it when you look at tariffs, certainly when you look at gas prices. And so on the whole, this is not an agenda that is working for working families. This is an agenda at the moment. I don't know that it's working for anybody other than the president and some of his closest donors and advisors, but it's certainly not working for working families.
No, not at all. More than 10 years ago, I started going to Springfield to advocate for families who have, raising or caring for someone with a disability, individuals with disabilities, particularly when Governor Rauner made some horrific cuts across the board, I believe it was over $26 million on a Good Friday. And, we started feeling it pretty immediately. And I felt like that was kind of this was happening in red states all across the country, was implementing this sort of make it a turnaround state. Make it a right to work state. It was this whole turnaround agenda, diminish labor rights. Over and over again, these guys repeatedly do harm to working class families. And I contended, my thing was that healthcare is a crisis of our generation. And that was before Donald Trump took office. So now we have so many other crises. But we now see that millions of people in Illinois, people are opening up letters with premiums that are up around 80%. But the ACA tax credits all expired, of course, in January. So it didn't happen all at once. Why is this people getting these premium notices now?
The information was there last year, but oftentimes people don't really know until they see their bills, right? These provisions were going to expire last year, and the Congress had plenty of a runway to try to extend them. And in fact, there were bipartisan efforts to do so, but neither the administration nor the Republican leaders in Congress prioritized getting them done. But there was a lot of information at the time that talked about, 20 plus million Americans are going to see their premiums double due to the loss of these enhanced premium tax credits. And that's what we're in fact seeing. We're now that the bills are coming due, now that people are actually seeing what they owe, all of those predictions are coming to fruition. We've seen some of my colleagues did an analysis on the year to date that found that the average monthly net premium costs for folks enrolled in the marketplace, this is the Obamacare marketplaces that you can sign up for, they've seen an increase of about 58% this year on average. And then that means that you've got people who are seeing 100% or more, and you have people who are seeing less. But one of the results, again, predictable, is that we've got about 1 million less people enrolled in the marketplaces. That enrollment has fallen by 5% nationally. I think it's around 4%, almost 20,000 people in Illinois who were in last year and are not in this year. And that number is likely to increase as more people see that they can't keep up with these payments. And so the question is, where are they going to go? Are we going to just see, we had made a lot of progress on getting the uninsured population down. We reached record lows during the Biden administration of the uninsured population, thanks to the Affordable Care Act and thanks to the enhanced premium tax credit. We had record numbers of people enrolled in the exchanges in 2025. And now we're going to see that arrow go in a different direction. And again, it's happening at a time when the cost of everything else is going up. And so that just makes it even more problematic, that it's not just your grocery prices or your gas prices that are going up, but for too many Americans, you're now seeing your premium cost skyrocket beyond what you can afford. And so that puts people in a much more vulnerable situation. It's no wonder that we're seeing consumer sentiment numbers at record lows, because I think people are getting hammered on all sides. And it really is due to this administration's agenda. Sometimes inflation goes up because of stuff beyond your control, right? A major hurricane, fires, things like that affect the flow of oil or affect other supply chains. On almost all of these items, it's the president's agenda. It is imposing taxes on every product coming into this country through tariffs. It is initiating a war of choice against a country that, according to all analyses, because this has been talked about for decades, that when people would game out a conflict with Iran, there would be a closure of the Strait of Hormuz in those war games. It was foreseeable that that would happen, and it happened, and gas prices jumped incredibly high, right? These are all things that are string driven, not to mention what we've talked about with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, with allowing the premium tax credits to expire. These are all actions or inactions by this administration that are driving up the cost of living for everyday Americans.
This idea, the thought of all predictable, whether it's what's going to happen to people with SNAP benefits, those who are on Affordable Care Act, with Medicaid, all those things, and then of course, as you mentioned, gas prices. Do you have time for another segment? I know that we started a little bit late, and I appreciate your patience. I don't want to take advantage.
I have to walk to an offsite thing at 12:30 my time, so 11:30 your time.
Okay, so you've got so let's just stay here for a minute then, because the next question I have then, and as far as people not being able to afford their health care, and then where are they going to go? We also have talked about how in Illinois alone there are 9 hospitals that are rural hospitals, or I think at all levels, that are vulnerable to close. How much does cutting Medicaid, people who can't afford their health care anymore, then they're not going for services? How much is that going to impact the vulnerability of hospitals both in Illinois and across the country?
Well, I can have a major impact, and put aside any numbers behind it, but that it will have a major impact because one of the changes or the additions that the administration needed to make in order to get Republicans to support the bill was to add this relief fund that could be used to help keep rural hospitals afloat. But it wasn't sufficient. It's unlikely to be sufficient to make up for all of the cuts. And so that in and of itself is an admission that by potentially reducing the Medicaid enrollment so significantly, by changing the ability of states to get more funding for hospitals from providers, the combination of these policies are not good for rural hospitals. And so we can see it in their own choices. And so hopefully this is something that gets fixed in the future, because the effects will take years to play out under a different administration. But this is not a population. These are not parts of the country that have a lot of choices for healthcare, and certainly emergency healthcare. So you damage rural hospitals, you're really hurting communities that may not have very many other choices, and you're hurting economies, because a lot of if you have hospitals actually closing, you're going to have a lot of businesses, a lot of workers who are dependent upon those institutions for economic development.
I'm going to leave it at that grim moment. And I know that it won't be any better next time we talk. Presumably it will be worse, but I shouldn't presume. But I want to thank you so much for your time and for your patience. I know that we had some technical issues, and I can't thank you enough. We've been talking to Michael Negron, who had worked with policy with Mayor Rahm Emanuel and under former President Biden. And I wish you safe travels. I know that you are making plans to return to Chicago. We're thrilled to welcome you back, and would love to have you in studio when your schedule allows. And if you're available beforehand, I promise we'll have our act together when it comes to our microphones.
No, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd love to be back. So thanks for the time. And I enjoyed being on.
Thank you. Is there a place where people can learn more about the work that you do?
At AmericanProgress.org. You can find not only what we are working on at the Center for American Progress, but you can find me, and you can look at what I've written and what I've said. And so please check it out. The Center for American Progress is a strong team. We do work on every issue. So it's domestic economy, rights and justice, national security, environment and energy. It's full service. And so please check it out.
Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lady B. Talk to you later.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
This is WCPT telling you how you can shop blue. With the summer finally being here and everyone going on those vacations, let's look at some hotels that support the Democrat Party. Hyatt Hotels. Now, Hyatt Hotels is owned by the Pritzker family. Why does that Pritzker name sound so familiar? Oh, that's right, Governor J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois. Safe to say that Hyatt Hotels supports the Democratic Party. Choice Hotels. Now, Choice Hotels donated $1.3 million to Democrats in 2024. And if you're wondering, Choice Hotels owns Quality Inn, Sleep Inn, Okono Lodge, and Roadway Inn. Wyndham Hotels. Now, Wyndham Hotels owns Super 8, Days Inn, Aquanita, Ramada, and more. Marriott. Marriott donated $228,000 to Democrats in 2024, and Hilton Hotels donated $241,000 to Democrats in 2024. This has been WCPT telling you how you can shop blue.
Saving money on your next project now at Menards. Menards is the leading supplier of quality roof and floor trusses. Choose from our large selection of residential and post-frame trusses, or design custom trusses specifically for your project. Get started on your building project today, in-store or on menards.com. Plus, view our weekly flyer for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. In Ukraine, days of protests have produced change. Jennifer King reports that the new commander of Ukrainian military forces.
President Volodymyr Zelensky says he has fired veteran General Alexander Syrskyi as the chief of Ukraine's military and named 43-year-old Major General Mikhailo Drapati as the new commander. The reversal followed days of mass protests against Syrskyi's appointment and the dismissal of Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, who demonstrators said represented Ukraine's new wave towards a modern, tech-savvy military. Zelensky thanked Syrskyi for his dogged defense of Kyiv and the Kharkiv and Kursk regions and says he has offered Fedorov a worthy position that would unify the country's technology sector. Drapati started as a tank officer and rose to commander of Ukraine's joint forces with a reputation as daring and determined in ground combat. In 2014, he famously ordered his driver to ram a barricade and caught air in an armored vehicle while leading a column into Mariupol. I'm Jennifer King.
The 10th day of attacks between the U.S. and Iran overshadowed diplomatic efforts today in Pakistan to salvage the ceasefire deal. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the war has cost $37.5 billion so far. Arizona is holding primaries for governor and U.S. House seats, and Lisa Dwyer reports.
New Jersey's governor says about 6,600 people who indicated that they were non-citizens were actually registered to vote because of a motor vehicle commission system error, registering them as Democrats, Republicans, and independents. Of that, she says, fewer than 400 wound up casting ballots. The White House is using the revelation to promote Trump's Save America Act that requires people to show proof of citizenship before they register to vote and impose voter ID requirements nationwide. The measure has passed the House but has not gotten a vote in the Senate, where even some Republicans oppose it. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
This is AP News. The director of the National Museum of American History pushing back